All right, Joe, March 21st, 2015. Another show here at the O, and I'll tell you something, we had a great crowd here tonight.
Right, sure, PK. I'll tell you another thing. Everybody here got their money's worth. We had amazing matches. We had characters. We had it all, PK. And most importantly, we had my presence here tonight.
Wow, Joe, I'm surprised you said that. Your humility has always struck me as your finest trait.
As I say, I'm a very humble man.
Well, Joe, our first match was Rod Bolt versus Johnny Pinhead.
Yeah, you're right, Johnny Pinhead. Who cares about that guy? I call him Mr. Beginner's Luck. But you know what? Tonight he met his match. He went up against the great Rod Bolt, one of the greatest wrestlers that grace our arena.
Well, Joe, I don't know if he really met his match. I think Rod Bolt has an asterisk next to this victory because while he was wrestling Rod Bolt, Jake Hughes comes out. Now, remember, Jake Hughes is set to face Johnny Pinhead if he's able to retain his title.
And
Heroes versus Villains on May 2nd. And basically, Johnny Pinhead went to go against the ropes, at which point Jake Hughes hit him with the lawyer, Tobias, whatever his last name is, briefcase.
Percival.
Oh, I'm sorry, yeah, it's very important to me. Anyways, so he hits him in the back. He then goes down, and then, of course, Rod Bolt gets the win.
Wait, let me tell you something, PK. Losers limp. I'll tell you another thing. A win is a win. That's all I gotta say. I don't care how it's done. That guy, Mr. Johnny Pinhead, he could have been smarter.
Well, Joe, after that, Johnny Pinhead, when he came out of the ring, he basically was pile-driven outside the ring by Jake Hughes. And, Joe, I'm telling you something, Jake Hughes better be careful, because I've been actually pretty impressed with Johnny Pinhead.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you something. You may be impressed, but not me. And when come Heroes versus Villains, when he goes up against Jake Hughes, we're going to see his true colors, and he's going to be shown as he really is. Weak, pathetic, and out of luck. Go back to Russia.
Well, Joe, then we had Brozilla versus Mr. Hollywood. The return of Brozilla, and I'll tell you something, Joe. Unfortunately, it just wasn't his night. This was a corporate championship title match.
It was, and you know what? We have the greatest corporate champion ever. We have Mr. Hollywood, the best of the best, as I say. I am proud of that wrestler. He's one of the greatest ones I've ever seen ever enter any arena ever in the history of professional wrestling. Mr. What's his name? Brozilla. He tried to make some comeback. It was futile. It was all in vain. He did the best he could, but he failed. And I knew he would because he went up against Mr. Hollywood.
Was it all in vain, Joe, or all in artery?
Oh,
regardless,
shut up.
Mr. Hollywood did hit Brozilla with a cell phone, and then did his Sunset Boulevard, and got the win and retained his victory.
Never mind the cell phone thing. That's your spin. The point is, he got him. He got the best of Brozilla, and I knew he would because he's just the better man.
Well, Joe, I don't hate to disagree with you. Anyways, so then we had Matt Devlin versus Kip Bryson versus Ken O'Sullivan, a triple threat match for the Generations title.
That's right. And then something happened, a little twist in the action. And I'll tell you something, I was so happy when I saw the Monster Z come out with White Knight to take care of those three youngins in that ring.
Well, Joe, what happened was the Monster Z then attacked the ref, at which point our commissioner, your boss and mine, Anthony Martinelli, he came out and basically made it a tag team handicap match with Matt Devlin, Kip Bryson, and Ken O'Sullivan as one tag team against the Monster Z and the White Knight.
That's right. Good call by the Commissioner Baronelli. Let me tell you something, PK. He, Mr. Macaroni, made a great call. And I'll tell you another thing. That was a great match. Two of the most dominating athletes going against the three up-and-coming stars. But let's face it, it was just too much for those three.
Well, Joe, I'll tell you something. Ultimately, you're right. The Monster Z and the White Knight laid waste, and then they didn't even stick around for the victory. They just walked away and let the 10 count go.
There was one man who put up an amazing fight in that match. That was Ken O'Sullivan.
Oh, no doubt.
What a warrior. What a soldier. That man was a brawler to the very end in that match.
He's wearing his shirt that says size matters not, and I think he proved that here tonight.
Absolutely.
Well, then, Joe, then we had White Trash versus Medical Malpractice.
Oh, I'm at a loss of words, believe it or not.
It's the first time.
Yeah, it is the first time, so I always got plenty to say, PK.
No doubt about that.
Let's face it, we had two tag teams in there, both ready to tap into all their resources for a victory, and it turned out to be quite a match.
It was, Joe, but it was really interesting. Was during the match, Clint Eller, whose birthday it is today, he came out. And he and Cody Fairview and David Garrison got into it, and they attacked Clint Eller. Well, so then all of a sudden, David Garrison went to hit him in the face, because it is Clint Eller's birthday today, went to hit him in the face with a cake. Well, Clint Eller ducked, and Cody Fairview got a face full of cake, and then while that was going on, Dr. Bad then rolled rolled up Jimmy Lee while he was distracted and got the win.
Yeah, well, listen, it's great to see White Trash back. It's great to see our tag team division moving up here in the OSWA. I think we have an exciting future in that division.
Well, Joe, then we had a three-way dance for the tag team championships. We had Completely Awesome, made up of Chad Silva and Zach Daniels, versus the Cousins of Destruction, Will Caution and Jackson Carter, and then Jamar and Keith Cage, they continue to tag together. Well, Joe, during the match, all of a sudden this huge guy comes out that we've never seen here at the O. I think his name is Tower, because that's what he had written on the side of his pants. I mean, Joe, this guy was so tall, he stepped over the top rope.
That man had to have been at least 7 feet tall, PK. The only ones to handle it correctly were Keith Cage and Jamar Anderson. They hightailed it out of that ring. They left the building as fast as they could because that 7-foot monster lay waste on all of the other 4 competitors in that ring.
I mean, Joe, and he came out with another guy who looks like he could probably hold his own as well. They were calling out, looking for Zach Daniels. Obviously, they don't know what Zach Daniels looks like, but they went after everybody in that ring. You're right, Joe. I mean, Joe, he did a spine buster on Keith Cage. On Will Caution, and then he did a choke slam on Jackson Carter, which is no small feat, by the way. And then he tops that by doing a double choke slam on Zach Daniels and Chad Silva, and Joe just laid everybody out. And then the two of them, Tower and this partner of his, man, they walked out with their heads held high.
Think of that, PK. 2 former Ultimate Champions and 2 of our current dominating tag team champions. He took them all out and just walked out without even breaking a sweat. I can't wait to see what this guy holds for us in the future.
No doubt about that, Joe. I also want to find out what they have against Zach Daniels.
Me too.
Because apparently they didn't know who he was by his face, but man, they knew him by his name.
Some sort of bad blood or something. I don't know, man. Zach Daniels is very well known in the indie circuit here in professional wrestling. Maybe they just want to come in here and take out who they think is the biggest, baddest guy.
Well, Joe, then we had our Ultimate Championship title match. Curtis Coleman versus the Ultimate Champion, Jake Hughes.
PK, why do you always say that? It's the Ultimate Champion.
Sorry, Joe, just putting a British pronunciation on it.
Yeah, well, you're not from England. You're from America. And over here in America, we say champion.
Well, Joe, it was a real physical match. I'll tell you something. Curtis Coleman was holding his own. There were a couple times where I thought for sure we were going to see a title match and then have a real Ultimate Champion. How's that? Is that better?
That's much better.
Okay, great. But then all of a sudden, what does Jake Hughes do? Jake Hughes rolls up Curtis Coleman and then uses the ropes as leverage to hold the pin and winds up getting the victory and retains his Ultimate Championship.
Championship, PK.
Sorry, Joe, the British pronunciation came out on me again.
Oh, yeah, I know. It's the very classy part of you.
Thank you.
Well, unlike our transatlantic cousins, we say champions here. And that's what he was. That's what he is a champion. Jake Hughes tapped into all his resources. He won. A win is a win. Complain all you want. Use any loser slip you want. He is our champion. Live it, love it, and accept it, PK.
Well, Joe, our next show is April 4th here at the O Arena. We look forward to seeing our fans here. You can always keep up with the action in between the shows at oswaentertainment.com. You can also catch all the recaps if you haven't been here for a while at facebook.com/oswaentertainment and through youtube.com/oswaentertainment. We appreciate our fans. We look forward to seeing you April 4th. Thank you, and good night.